Darling, you send me. I know you send me. Darling, you send me. I know you send me. Darling, you send me. I know you send me. Darling, you send me. Darling, you send me. I know you do. 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 Send me. Darling, you send me. I know you send me.
Okay, let's get ready. Good morning, guys. So, a lot of you have been asking through the past number of my videos to do a makeup tutorial. And the reason that I haven't done it is because I am not a makeup artist in any shape, way, or form. Everything that I've learned about makeup, I have learned through just practicing and trial and error and through YouTube. So, I didn't want anybody to be harping on my mellow, being like, you are not a beauty guru, because I'm fully aware of that. So, I haven't done one in a long time, even though makeup is like a huge passion of mine, probably even more than plus size fashion and fashion in general. I just love makeup. But so many of you guys have been asking me to do makeup videos. So, here we are. Here we are. Yeah, so just cut me some slack. Like I said, I'm not the best at it, and my setup isn't the best either. It never shows lighting correctly. So I have a vanity mirror from Impressions Vanity, which I love, which you guys have seen probably in my Clean With Me's. But it's definitely a lot more yellow toned in casting. I don't have white LED bulbs, which are my next go-to thing because multiple bulbs on this thing are out. So it's going to cast different colors, but at the end of the video I will definitely show you my full face in natural lighting so it doesn't look so off, because foundation and stuff looks really weird in this lighting on film or video, memory, whatever. I already moisturized with my First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. Talked about that before on my channel. That thing is like never gonna die. It's still amazing, but it's just never gonna die. Okay, so let's just, I don't even know idea what I'm gonna do. We're just gonna go ahead and just do something on my face. So we're gonna start with the eyes. I always do my eyes first. It's just the easiest for me. I don't like worrying about fallout if I have a full face of foundation. It's just easier to do my eyes first. So I'm taking the NYX HD Studio Concealer in the color CW01, which I believe is just Fair Porcelain. And I'm just going to use this to prime my eyes. Concealer works best for me for this because I have a lot of darkness and veins and just not cute eyelids. So I like to use something that's going to give you some coverage to conceal rather than just like an eyeshadow primer. I need some coverage on these bad boys. And this one's pretty good because it's not super heavy, but it's also has enough coverage, but it's not drying. I'm gonna set my eyes with the closest thing that I have, which is from my Tarte Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette, and it is Big Baby. I normally just use some sort of cream shade, something that's closest to my skin tone because I'm freaking white as Casper. Alright, so once again, have no idea what I'm gonna do. Well, we're just gonna play around, hope for the best, just try out some things, shall we? I may kind of do a look that you guys have been asking about for a while. I may do something similar to that, so we're just gonna go ahead and start. The two main palettes I'm probably going to pull from today are my Too Faced Natural Mattes palette, which is amazing. I believe only $36 to $38, which to me is a good bargain for this. This thing is beautiful, except I will say it's a pain in the butt to open. But it's stunning. It's so pretty. If you need a good set of mattes in your life, this is the one to go to. But these are easily dupable. They're not anything that's like crazy new. I'm also probably gonna pull from my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, which is another one of my faves. But a lot of these colors you can find in multiple palettes. You can find in the drugstore. You don't have to use the same thing that I'm using. By the way, I have a candle burning, so if you see like flames back there, it's not like something's on fire, you know? I should probably preface that. But it's got a flame, man. Let me tell you, that thing is intense. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later, because I have now tried a new candle and a new fragrance that has changed my life. Maybe a little bit dramatic, but I'm big about scents. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna take Au Naturel, which is just a matte kind of coffee shade. It's like a light tan. And I'm going to take it with my MAC 224 brush, and we're just going to pop this in the crease. Normally when I start my looks, I either have no idea what I'm doing, like I'm just going to create, or I have an intention to do something and it never ends up going the way I want it to, and it ends up looking like every other eye look. That is like my issue. I feel like everything ends up looking the same, even when I try for it to look different. So that's a pain at the moment in my life, but we're working on it. We're working on it. I have naturally hooded eyes, so I feel like I don't have a lot of room to play with. And everything just kind of looks the same. But it's probably just me not knowing what I'm doing. Alright, so we're zooming you in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Just come closer. Alright, so we're a bit better now. Okay, so I've Au Naturel in the crease, and I'm gonna go into my Soft Glam palette, and I'm going to take Orange Soda, which is just a light orange, pastel-y orange. And we're gonna pop this in the crease as well. I'm actually gonna pull from my Modern Renaissance palette as well. And I'm just taking a really beautiful shimmery color. This is called Vermeer. It's just a beautiful shimmery pearly shade. Once again, just pull with what you got. I don't ever want you to feel like you need all these palettes. Pull with what you have. That's what I do. Is I'm looking for things and just feeling around. I'm putting this all over my lid. Not the way that most people do it, but I enjoy doing it the way I like to, and I just find that I like having some sort of like glow to my lid before I start adding more of my deeper tones, than rather going back in afterwards. I like a little bit of iridescence on the lid. Going back into my Soft Glam palette, we're going to take the color Dusty Rose, which is really what it is. It's a dusty rose color, a mauve-y color. This is the only color I will say that I don't have more of, and I'm really glad that I actually have this palette for that reason, because I find it to be really, really beautiful. But I'm sure that it is not super original and that you can find it. Not to say anything bad about the brands, it's just they make what's on trend. And you can find them at a lot of different price points. Okay, so I'm going to take Dusty Rose and I'm going to apply it to my outer corner and kind of half of the lid up into the crease a tiny, tiny bit. Then I'm just taking my MAC 224 brush with no new product and blending out the crease. Blending all those colors together. Alright, so that's what we have so far. Once again, the lighting is so bad. But we're just going to add and like build it up and intensify it. So using either palette, you can use this palette or even this palette if you have either one, just like I said. Or if you don't, these are obviously dupable colors. So you can see there's a lot of the same warm red browns, and that's what we're going to like dip into, what am I saying? I'm gonna take a little bit of sienna and a little bit of mulberry. Both of these are just rich, warm browns. Sienna is a lot lighter, while mulberry is a bit deeper, but it just deepens that outer corner until we get it to the effect that we want it to. So I'm going to first dip into Sienna. I also want to know what your favorite fall/Halloween movie is. That's not Hocus Pocus, because I feel like that's like the easy one to say, which no judgment, because Hocus Pocus is literally like the best one there is, because it just is great. And I talked about it before about like that was like my favorite childhood movie, not just as like Halloween, just all year. So I have like really good memories with that. And like I think about that quite often when I like think about Halloween. There's a scene in that movie where Danny and, what is her name, Allison or whatever. It's like their first day of school, and she's like leaving, and she puts up her red little hood on her little cloak thing, and she's walking away, and there's autumn leaves falling down, and it's like just what I imagine as a kid being fall. Like that is what I am like envision in my brain, and it just gives me so many warm fuzzies. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. I need to watch Casper again. Casper has some good scenes in there too with fall, but I have not watched that movie in like a decade. This is why we don't do our makeup first, because I'm starting to look like I have a black eye. So basically all I'm doing now is just adding a little bit more and then blending it out, and adding a little bit more and blending it out. Just deepening it and getting the warmth that I want. I haven't added any mulberry yet, actually. I've just been adding sienna, and I may leave it like that because I am doing a pretty bold lip and I don't want to go overboard with my eyes. There's so many pictures on Pinterest of women that do like very minimal eye makeup and then just do a really bold lip, and it looks so good. And for me, it never looks like that. Like I just look weird. I feel like it just looks like I'm missing eye makeup. Like it never just looks, oh yeah, she just looks great and cool and naturally woof. I don't know if it's because they're probably wearing false lashes that helps. I don't know. I did just order some superhero mascara from It Cosmetics, which I haven't tried before, but I'm really pumped because I've needed a new mascara. And I've heard that good things, but I got it off of QVC. If you guys don't know this about me, QVC is literally something I watch 24/7. I don't always shop or buy anything, but there's something that just, it's like the nostalgia thing. There's like something about it that makes me feel like good and safe and happy. And I've watched it a lot of times in my life where things have been kind of like hard or stressful on me with personal things or just physically, like health wise, and it's always just made me feel safe because like nothing bad happens on QVC. Like nothing, everything's great. The worst thing that happens is like the power goes out or something, or your product sells out that you want. Like nothing bad ever happens, and so there's something that just makes me feel happy and good about it. So anyway, that's so weird to admit, and it's on 24/7 too. Like it's the same type of stuff on 24/7. I don't know, it's a weird thing. This is get ready with me, like we're chatting. We're chatting to help draw away the attention of the fact that I'm not that great at makeup. Okay, I'm just going back in for mirror. I'm not putting any sort of like Fix Plus or any sort of primer on the inner part of my eyes to make it pop. I'm just adding it on top, and it naturally kind of already pops. I don't want it to be too dramatic. I just want it to lighten up in that inner corner. We're just kind of patting it in. And there we go. There is our eye look for now. I think it looks really pretty. It's really basic, my usual, but I think it looks really nice. So it'll look better in the natural light, I promise you. All right, so now we're gonna jump in to our face. I am using Maybelline Baby Skin. I've used this before on my channel for a primer. This is what I'm using. This isn't something that's gonna help the longevity of your makeup. I have naturally dry skin though, and I find that I don't necessarily need the longevity of my makeup. It's more so I just want my skin to look smooth. So for me, smoothing primers are a must because I just want to look like I don't have pores. And my foundation just goes on a billion times better. If I use a non-smoothing primer, I do not like the way my foundation looks, and I normally take it off and try again. So This, like I said, doesn't help the longevity of your makeup, but does make it look freaking great. Right, foundation, I have no idea what I'm gonna use. This always happens to me. I think I'm gonna try to use a little bit of this. It's a little bit too light for me right now, but I'm sure as the months of fall and winter approach us, it will be just fine. But right now, we're gonna have to mix it. All right, so I'm using the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage. That has been pretty popular in the past year. This is in 102 Porcelain. I believe this is the lightest shade they have, and let me tell you, it's pretty light. I am going to probably mix a little bit of my L'Oreal True Match in W2, which is light ivory. These work really well together. This works really great in any sort of mix-in. If you don't like foundation tinters or darkeners, but you still need to like darken up some foundations you have, the L'Oreal True Match is just great. It never changes the consistency really of the foundation that you're putting on, or the like coverage. This is a like miracle drops, and this is great alone by itself, and it's inexpensive. So if you're looking for a really great foundation, this one's great. I really want to try out the new what is it called, the Makeup Revolution foundation. That looks so good. Casey Holmes used it the other day. Freaking love that woman, and she loved it, so I'm like, okay, I'll have to buy it. Only product I use to apply foundation is my beauty blender. I do not like brushes. I've never liked brushes. Before I discovered the beauty blender, I always used my fingers. But if something doesn't work with my beauty blender, I don't use it, or I take it back. Maybe crazy, but I love the beauty blender. Yep, I put way too much on. I was off yapping. Didn't realize, hey, this isn't a face mask, but here we are. Okay, so although I don't really need more coverage, we're gonna add more. And of course, I know, like I said, this looks crazy, and it is a bit lighter in person, but it's not as dramatic as it's showing on camera. But we're gonna take a little bit of this Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. This is in the color Swan, which I believe is the second to lightest shade. It is a bit darker than my foundation, so oh well, this is why we don't do makeup videos. I will say that Maybelline, is it Maybelline again? Is it Maybelline? Yeah. That Maybelline foundation dries down real fast. Like, it gets matte real fast. You're not left with like a dewy finish for a while until it dries down. Like, it is matte. I'm not the biggest like lover of matte foundations because I have normal to dry skin, and so they can get really cakey or just look flaky pretty much by the end of the day, because it's sucking out any moisturizer or trying to suck up any oil, but it's not actually oil. It's just my skin, and so it can look like really dry. But I do like the finish it gives in the initial at least a couple hours a day, because it just looks like a flawless canvas, which is really nice, but it can be a little bit intense. All right, now that I look crazy, I just feel like I look like Pennywise right now. We're gonna add some powder. So I'm taking my Airspun loose setting powder. I've loved this stuff for years now. It's still great. I do want to try out a couple other powders, just to see, you know, because I feel like I've been using this powder now for like 4 years. I'm ready for something different, but it's still great, and it's inexpensive, and it lasts forever. So that sounds like that's up your alley. Go ahead and give it a try. It's in the Walmart nail care section. I always get it at Walmart. I've never bought it anywhere else, but I know they sell it at other places. But it's actually in the nail care section of Walmart. Don't know why they put it there, but that's where it is. So if you're having a hard time finding it, try that next time. We're gonna go in with some bronzer. I'm sure that this on my lips is bothering the crap out of you guys, and I'm really sorry. Ooh. We're gonna go into bronzer, and I can't decide what bronzer I'm gonna use today, but we're just gonna Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try out the, not try out, I don't know why I said that. We're gonna use the Too Faced Sweetheart Bronzer in Sweet Tea. This bronzer I really like because it's not as orange. It has more of almost like a greeny undertone and a cooler undertone basically. And it looks really nice if you don't want to go too crazy. Or if you're really fair like me and you want a deeper bronzer without looking like an Oompa Loompa. Next, I'm actually going to take a little bit more bronzer because this foundation is really light. And we're going to take the NYC Sunny Bronzer, which is one of my all-time favorites. Super inexpensive, also at Walmart for like $2. And we're just going to put this right on top. Kind of warm up our skin so we don't look so, you know, dead. Now we're going to contour. And for contouring, I'm using my Tarte Park Avenue Princess chisel palette. This thing is massive, heavy as heck, but freaking beautiful. Definitely recommend this as well. This is a great contour palette. We're going to take Princess Cut, which is a bit more on the ashy side, and our Sigma F40 brush. We're gonna go in. I like to apply my highlighter before I do my blush. I like an intense highlight, but I like it better when everything's blended and just looks like I'm glowing from within. You can totally reverse it and do what I see most people do where they apply the blush and then highlighter. I just find that it looks a little bit better, at least on me, when I don't do that. So we're not gonna do that. I don't know if I've used this in a video before, but we're using it now. This is the Milani highlighting palette. It doesn't have a name on it, but I think it's the only one Milani makes. This thing is so intense. This is another thing that I saw Casey Holmes use and went and bought immediately. It was like $10 at Walmart, and this is like the most intense highlighters I have ever freaking used. I mixed both of this light one and this like golden bronze one. Whew, it's about to be intense up in here. They look wet. If you like that look, this is for you. If you don't like that look, this is not for you. If you don't like a really intense highlighter, the e.l.f. Bake highlighter in Blush Gems is one of my all-time favorites. This is the exact dupe for MAC Soft and Gentle, which was my first highlighter and one of my favorite highlighters as well. A lot of people find this has a hard time with pigmentation. I never really found that issue, but it is like only $3, so if you lightly scrape off like the top layer, like barely, it should start getting more of like that overspray on top to kind of loosen up, and then you can get a lot more pigment out of it. This is like the third or fourth one I've purchased. I love this thing. It is really great for a subtle highlight. It really just looks like you're glowing from within. So if you don't like intense strobiness, then that is a good one to try out. Basically, I just go back and forth, and then I just pop it on my cheekbone. This is the e.l.f. blush brush, which is amazing for highlighter because it's dense but still has enough mobility to blend and not be as intense of a packing on, but it still gets a good blend out of it too. Did that make any sense? So this is where it gets even crazier, is I like to use a billion face products. I know I use way too much, but I can't stop. I've always used a lot of blush. First things first is I'm taking my NARS Luster blush. This is a beautiful apricot color. I need to get a new one so badly. It is like a really warm apricot-y shade, and it's kind of like a blush mixed with a bronzer. It just warms up your cheeks. I'm using my Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm just going all over that cheek area. Next, I'm taking a little bit of my Clinique Cheek Pop in Fig Pop. Last, I'm using my IT Cosmetics CC Radiance Ombre Blush in Je ne sais quoi. This thing is if I could recommend a blush to everyone, it would be this one, besides Luster. It's like Thai. This is just the perfect flush of pink we're moving back to the eyes, and I'm actually using NYX's Tinted Brow Mascara in Blonde, and I'm applying it to my brows. I don't do like anything to my brows besides this. I'm so lazy with them. I have naturally fuller brows though, and I feel like if I did like a lot of pomade or a brow wiz or anything, it would just be like pop. So not that there's anything wrong with bigger brows, I just don't think that I have the features to support those bad boys. So instead I just kind of paste them down with some brow mascara and hope for the best. My kid's having an exorcism moment, so if you'll excuse me, let me just go make sure that she's getting the demons out. Just a second. Okay, my camera died, so we had to re-angle you. Alright, so anyway, like I was saying, is I just run a little bit underneath the lash line and then just kind of blend that outer corner. This is a very typical makeup look for me, as you guys can probably guess. So this is something I do quite often. So if you're looking at a lot of my past videos, I may change up the colors a little bit, but typically this is the exact process I use. Now, I don't normally do a lot of wings or upper lash liner because I have small eyes, and like I said, my eyes are hooded, so when I just naturally look at people, there's not a lot of eye area anymore. My lid is pretty much covered, at least halfway, and so when I put eyeliner on, it just shortens the lid even more and makes my eyes look a lot smaller. Plus, I'm just really bad at it. I have still yet to master eyeliner. I used to be able to do it in high school like perfectly, and I don't know, I just stopped doing it because I liked the way my eyes looked better without it when I got older, and now I can't do it again. So mostly that's my big reason. I am taking some of this Sephora crayon contour eye pencil, and this is in the color Love Affair, which is this really pretty, almost like eggplant color. It has a little bit of metallicness to it, and I'm running this on my lower lash line. I like this because it's not quite black, but it's still really deep. Like I said, I like the smoldering look of my eyes. Like I like when everything looks just really intense, but without really, really harsh lines or colors. When I have extra time, which often I don't, but if I'm getting ready for a specific event or like something that I have a little bit more time in and I want to look a little extra, I will use a little bit of this Cils Booster Mascara. This is from Lancome, and it's basically a lengthening primer mascara, and I find that it actually does work. So normally I just take my eyelash curler. This is from Tarte. I've had this thing for freaking ever, and I'm surprised that it is still living its life and still curling. I really should just get a new one. I bet that I would notice a big difference. But for me, this thing is still working. Like, I am impressed. I bought this so long ago. So, repping for Tarte here. Like, go you for making good eyelash curlers that last for years and years. Okay, so I'm just taking this primer, and it's basically a white mascara. I'm sure you guys have seen similar things. So I'm using my Dior Show Mascara. I think I waited a little too long with my primer. I kind of like when it's still a little bit wet. I feel like the actual black mascara looks a little bit nicer on it and goes on easier, but I was off yapping. Okay, so now that I got my face pretty much done, we're moving on to the lips. We are gonna actually use some Anastasia liquid lipsticks. I can't decide if I want to use the color American Doll, which is a really pretty red, or if I want to use the color Catherine, which is kind of similar to the Ciate Pinup, but it's a bit darker when it actually dries down. These are both beautiful. This liquid lipstick is another really great score. I recently just started trying them out, and I really like it. I think I'm gonna go with American Doll though. So this is the finished lip look. I think it's beautiful. The only thing I will say about these lipsticks is they are really drying. Like, My lips feel like sandpaper right now. They are super, super dry, but the color is stunning. This is a really pretty version of like the normal red I do, but it's a little bit deeper, and I love it. Okay, so like I started this video in the beginning, I was showing you lighting a candle that I received from the amazing company Sylvaine Delacourte. I can't speak French, so I'm sure I'm butchering the name, and I'm very sorry about that. I can't even try to make it sound fancy because I took Spanish in high school and college, and Mama can't pronounce any sort of French words, so please forgive me. But Sylvaine Delacourte was the creative director for Guerlain, which I'm sure you also have heard as a very prestigious beauty and perfume brand. They are known worldwide, and when I think of Guerlain, I think of luxury, and that is something that Sylvaine Delacourte does so well as well. And let me say, when I got contacted by this company, I was taken aback at first. I'm like, French perfume, this sounds way too good to be true. Like, you want me to do this? Like, I'm not one of those name brand YouTubers. Like, I mean, I'm totally down to try something. Like, send it my way. I love trying new products, and I only share with you guys what I love. I'm not going to share products that I've received that I don't like or don't believe in or don't stand by the brand. Let me first off just say this video is not sponsored. I do not get any money from this video. I don't get any money if you decide to buy it or not buy it. There's no affiliate links for me or anything like that. But I've tried everything, and let me just say, I have never felt so gosh darn fancy in my life. My daughter's like super into Fancy Nancy, which is a Disney Junior show, or it was originally a book, but it's about a little girl who's obsessed with being fancy and like French and Parisian style, and that's how I feel when I opened this perfume and this candle when it got sent to me after I chose from the experience. And even my daughter was like, ooh la la. I first got sent the $4 discovery experience, which is something that you can do. It's $4, free shipping to the US, and basically I gotta choose from 5 perfumes what perfume that I wanted to receive. Now there is a musk scent and a vanilla scent. I chose vanilla because that is my fave. I love anything vanilla. Let me just say, I feel like the discovery experience is a perfectly apt way to describe it. It is an experience. I'm super big about memories and scents related to those. That's how I move through season to season. As you saw me in the beginning of the video, I lit a candle, and I also sprayed a linen spray on my bed. I always have perfume on. I spray it even before I go to bed. Like, I'm really big about fragrances. Like, it's just something that really helps me just tie on to memories. It helps me with my anxiety, believe it or not. It helps give me comfort. It's just, scents are a huge deal to me, and I take them very seriously. It sounds so crazy when I'm saying this out loud, but it's a big deal. So when they contacted me, I was really eager to try this because I was already looking for a new fragrance for fall, and so I was excited when I got it. Let me just say, fancy as can be. It was beautiful, beautiful packaging, and this bottle is something that can be displayed of just how stunning it is. This is something that makes me think of like Diptyque or Jo Malone fragrances that are just beautiful and minimalistic but just look stunning. The thing about Sylvaine Delacourte is that they are trying to give you an experience, and they use raw materials to create this. There's not synthetic fragrances. There's not a whole lot of like that really candy vanilla scent or gourmand scents that you can tell like when you buy like celebrity perfumes or even some perfumes in the store. Even though I'm not saying anything bad about those because I do have some myself, this is definitely a completely different experience. And if you like fragrances, fine fragrances, this is something that I absolutely recommend you try. And there is a video guide to how the perfumes are made and all of that if you want to learn more about this brand and this company and where the perfumes are actually coming from. I chose Venori, and the reason that I chose this is because it's spicy and sexy. I absolutely love Victor & Rolf Spice Bomb. It's what my husband wears during the fall. It is like this spicy, peppery scent. It smells so good on him. This is like the sexy woman version. It is so spicy and peppery and warm. It makes me feel like a freaking James Bond villain in the best way. Now that I just went off on a rant about that, I want to share this with you because like I said, I don't get anything from this. I'm literally sharing this product with you because I genuinely love it and want you guys to enjoy something and try something out, treat yourself. have something that's fun and something to look forward to, especially if you are someone who likes fragrances as me and likes when the seasons change, and to enjoy something new and kind of like hallmark that season with a new scent, which is what I always like to do. Alright, so let's get ready. Let's put on an outfit, then we'll spray my perfume, we'll put my perfume on, and then we are done with this video that's now taken way longer than I ever intended it to. But that happens all the time, doesn't it? So here is my outfit. I'm wearing this Ramwy mini dress. I don't really know what to call it besides I call it the tint. I love this. You guys seem to have been loving it too. I just featured this in my what is it called? Fall Amazon clothing haul. I picked this up and I'm obsessed with it. So I have this on and I decided to kind of see what makeup look I can do with it. I thought this was actually a bit more red, but it's kind of coral, so maybe I'd go with a different lip color next time, but I still really like it. Then the shoes I'm wearing are these little booties. This is not the most attractive leg pose, but they're these little booties that are from Payless that I got a few years back, and they have these cute buckles on them. I like them because they're still kind of fall vibing the booties with the buckle, but they're like peep toes, so I don't look ridiculous when it's 90 degrees. Okay, so this is the finished makeup look as well. I really like how it turned out. I think next time I'll go a little bit less dramatic underneath the eyes, but I really like it. So I feel very folly. I'm excited. A lot of you have been loving the American Horror Story Coven reference, and I totally feel like it with this dress too, except it's like a little bit, you know, like a pop of happiness, not, murder and sadness. So happy American Horror Story. Alright, so that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I had so much fun getting ready together. I really hope you liked the makeup portion of it. I still feel like I'm really awkward in front of the camera. If you would like to see more makeup videos, please let me know below what you would like to see, and I will do them for you. I'm going to do my pixie haircut video soon as well. And I hope you're excited for all of those things coming up. Like I said, please check out Sylvaine Delacourte down below. Honestly, you guys won't regret it, especially if you're looking for a new fall perfume for the upcoming season changes. And I will talk to you guys all very soon. I love you all very much. Bye, guys.